Whenever we are dividing fractions and mixed numbers in my classroom, the very first thing I always have my students do is determine the sign of your final answer before you even really get started on the problem. Is your final answer going to be positive or negative? Well, if we take a look at number one, we have negative 4 2/3 divided by negative 7/9. Now they have the same sign. They're both negative values. So if they ever have the same signs, both negative or both positive, your final answer at the very end is always going to be positive. So for number one, our final answer when we're all said and done should be a positive solution. And then step two, we want to see if we have any mixed numbers, and we're going to change those to improper fractions. So for number one, we do have one mixed number. It's negative 4 2/3. So let's go ahead and turn that to an improper fraction. So to do that, you take your denominator, in this case 3. We're going to multiply it by the number out front. So 3 times 4 is 12. And then we're going to add our numerator. So 12 plus 2 is going to give us 14 in our numerator. Our denominator is going to stay the same as 3, and then that is negative. And then we're just going to bring down everything that we haven't used yet. So the division symbol and the negative 7/9. Now that step two's done, we changed all of our mixed numbers to improper fractions. We then want to use this method called KCF, or keep, change, flip. And the easiest way I tell my students to memorize this is, well, if you think about the fast food place KFC, this is just the crappier version of it, right? It's the off-brand, like Kmart's the off-brand of Walmart. So KCF, right, or keep, change, flip is the way to memorize that. So you want to keep the first fraction the exact same. So negative 14/3 is going to stay exactly how it is. So I'm just going to write it over here. So negative 14/3 is going to stay the way it is. We're going to change division to multiplying, and we're going to flip our second fraction. So instead of it being negative 7/9, we're going to flip it. So now it is negative 9/7. And now for step four, we want to check to see if we can simplify anything. And sometimes we can, sometimes we can't, just depends on the numbers. So we want to look at the numbers that are diagonal from each other. So 3 and 9 are both divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3, this is going to simplify down to 1. 9 divided by 3, this is going to simplify down to 3. And then the other numbers that are diagonal from each other, 14 and 7, are both divisible by 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. And now that we've done all the simplifying, the last step is to multiply our numerators, our top numbers, together, and our denominators, or our bottom numbers, together. So for our numerator, it's going to be 2 times 3, which is 6, and our denominator, which is going to be 1 times 1, which is just 1. And again, we know our final answer is going to be positive. Well, 6 over 1 is really just the number 6. So our final answer for the first one is just going to be a positive 6. So I'm going to get rid of all this extra work. That way we have space for number 2. And our final answer for the first one was a positive 6. Okay, for number 2, determine the sign. They're both positive values. So our final answer, once again, is going to be positive because they have the same sign. And now we want to change any mixed numbers to improper fractions. So for 2 and 1/4, we take our denominator, multiply it by the number out front. So 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 gives us 9, and we're just going to keep everything else the exact same for now. So 5/6 divided by 9 over 4. And now we want to utilize, again, KCF, or keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep 5/6 the exact same. So I'm going to write it over here again. So 5/6. We're going to change division to multiplying, and then we're going to flip it so it's now 4 over 9. Now check to see if we can simplify anything. Well, 5 and 9, the best number that they're both divisible by is 1, so that's not going to change anything. But 4 and 6 are both divisible by 2. So 6 divided by 2, that's going to give us 3. And 4 divided by 2, that's going to give us 2. And now we can just multiply across our numerators and our denominators. So 5 times 2 is going to give us 10 in our numerator, and our denominator is going to give us 27. And this is our final simplified answer of 10/27 for number 2. So again, let's get rid of all that, rewrite our final answer, and then we can move on to the third one. So this was 10/27. And now for number 3, I noticed that they're different signs this time. One's negative and one's positive. Whenever you have different signs, your final answer at the very end is going to be negative. So after I solve all this, I just want to make sure that my final answer is negative. I don't see any mixed numbers this time around, so we're going to skip number 2, and we're going to utilize keep, change, flip. So keep negative 3/4 the exact same. We're going to change division to multiplying, and then we're going to flip it so it's now 2 over 1. Check to see if you can simplify anything. Well, 2 and 4 are both divisible by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 3 and 1 are only divisible by 1, so that's not going to change anything. And then the only thing we're going to do now is multiply across. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 2 times 1 is 2. We just want to make sure that this is still negative. The only problem is at the very end here, this is an improper fraction, and we don't want to leave our answer as an improper fraction. We know it's improper because our numerator is a larger number than our denominator, so we don't ever want to leave our answer like this. So let's change it back to a mixed number. So how many times does 2 fit into the number 3? Well, 2 fits into 3 one time, so that 1 is going to go out front. I'm just going to write it over here. And since 2 fits into 3 one time, we want to remove 2 from 3 once. So 3 minus 2 is going to give us a 1 up top, and the denominator is going to stay the same as 2. So our final answer is going to be 1 1/2. We just want to make sure that it is negative for number 3. So our final answer for the third one is negative 1 1/2. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at number 4. I noticed that they're different signs once again, so final answer at the very end should be negative. We have 2 mixed numbers this time, so let's first convert both of those to improper fractions. So we have 3 times 3, which is going to give us 9. 9 plus 1 is going to give us 10 over 3 as our first improper fraction. Division is going to stay the way it is for right now. And then we're going to go ahead and convert negative 1 2/5. So 5 times 1 is going to give us 5. 5 plus 2 will give us negative 7/5. And now we can utilize keep, change, flip. So keep 10/3 the way it is, change division to multiplying, and then flip it. So now it is negative 5 over 7. Check to see if you can simplify anything. You can't. Everything's just divisible by 1, so it's going to stay the exact same. And now we just want to multiply across. So 10 times 5 is going to give us 50. And 3 times 7 is going to give us 21, and we're left with a scenario once again where it's going to be an improper fraction. So how many times does 21 fit into 50 without going over? Well, it fits 2 times, so we're going to put a 2 out front. We just want to make sure that's still negative. Well, 21 fits into 50 twice, so we want to remove 21 from 50 twice, okay, or removing 42 from 50. So 50 minus 42 is going to give us a remainder of 8. And our denominator is going to stay the same at 21. So our final answer is negative 2 8/21 for number 4. So let's go ahead and erase this, and then we're down to our very last one before we have 5 that I want you to try out on your own in the practice session. So for number 4, we had negative 2 8/21, and now we're on to the very last one. So I noticed same signs, positive final answer at the very end. I do see a mixed number, but I also see a scenario where we don't have a fraction at all. So to make negative 3 into a fraction, all we want to do is simply put it over 1 to make it into a fraction, because negative 3 divided by 1 is still the same exact thing as negative 3. So let's go ahead and convert that to an improper fraction and then make negative 3 into a fraction. So for this one, it's going to be 10 times 9, which is 90. 90 plus 9 is going to give us 99 over 10, making sure that's negative. Division is going to stay the same for right now, and this is going to be negative 3 over 1. And just to make sure I don't run into the webcam, I'm just going to write on the left side instead. So let's utilize keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep this the exact same at negative 99 over 10. Division is going to change to multiplying, and then we're going to flip it, so it's now negative 1/3. Check to see if you can simplify anything. Well, 3 and 99 are both divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 99 divided by 3 is 33. And now we can go ahead and multiply our numerators together and our denominators together. So 33 times 1 is 33, and 10 times 1 is 10. And then finally, well, let's make this into a mixed number. How many times does 10 fit into 33? Well, it fits 3 times. Well, 10 times 3 is 30, so let's go ahead and remove 30 from the top. So 33 minus 30 is going to give us 3, and our denominator is going to stay the same at 10. So our final answer for number 5 should be 3 3/10 for the last one. So that is our 5 questions that we are going to work on together. And then I have 5 questions I want you to try out on your own in the practice sessions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 5 for our practice session. Well, here we are. The moment of truth, the practice session. Can you go 5 for 5 with no assistance? Pause the video, try out all 5 questions on your own, and when you think you have all the answers, come back and play the video and see how you did. I'm assuming at this point you've tried out all 5 and now you want to see if you're the best of the best, right? Can you step up to the challenge and go 5 for 5, right? So let's go ahead and determine the moment of truth. Are you invincible or are you a chump? For number 1, we have different signs here. One's positive and one's negative. So the final answer at the very end should be negative. So then you should have converted your mixed number -1 3/4 to an improper fraction. And you should have gotten -7/4 for converting that. And then from there, you then want to utilize keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep -7/4 the way it is. We're going to change division to multiplying and then flip 5/8. So it's now 8/5. Then you want to check to see, well, can you simplify anything? 4 and 8 are both divisible by 4. So 4 divided by 4 gives us 1, and 8 divided by 4 gives us 2. And now we can go ahead and multiply across. Well, 7 times 2 is going to give us 14 in our numerator. And 1 times 5 is going to give us 5, and we just want to make sure it's still negative. The only problem is that this is an improper fraction. So we want to go ahead and convert this to a nice mixed number. Well, how many times does 5 fit into 14? And it fits twice. Well, 5 times 2 is 10, so let's remove 10 from our numerator, and we're going to be left with a remainder of 4, and our denominator stays the same with 5. So our final answer is -2 4/5 for the first one. So hopefully you are 1 for 1 as of right now. If not, then you have fallen into the chump category for this one. So -2 4/5 for number 1. Now for number 2, I noticed same signs, final answer should be positive at the very end, and we do have another mixed number, which is 2 1/3. So let's go ahead and convert that. So 11/12 is going to stay the same for right now. Division is going to stay the same. 2 1/3 should be 7/3, and now we want to utilize keep, change, flip. So keep 11/12 the way it is, change division to multiplying, and then flip it, so now it is 3/7, and then we can check to see, can you simplify anything? Well, 3 and 12 are both divisible by 3, so 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4, and once again, we can now go ahead and multiply across. So 11 times 1 is 11, and 4 times 7 is 28, and our final answer we already know should be positive. So this is our final correct solution, fully simplified for number 2, 11/28. And now we can go ahead and move on to number 3. So again, we'll get rid of this just so we have some space, 11/28. For number 3, we have same signs, they're both negative, so final answer once again should be positive. We have 5 2/5, which needs converted to an improper fraction. And then 7 needs to be made into a fraction by putting it over 1. So this should look like -27/5 divided by -7/1 before we even utilize keep, change, flip. And now we can go ahead and utilize that now that everything's ready to go. So -27/5 is going to stay the exact same. Division is going to change to multiplying, and then we're going to flip this, so now it is -1/7. And then we can go ahead and multiply across. I'm just going to do it on the left side just so I don't run out of space here. 27 times 1 is 27, and 5 times 7 is going to give us 35. And we know the final answer should be positive because they were same signs. Final solution should be positive. So for number 3, you should have got 27/35. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Rewrite the final answer, and hopefully you are 3 for 3 right now going into the final 2. So different signs. Final answer is going to be negative for number 4. We have 2 mixed numbers that need converted to improper fractions. So you should have gotten 27/8 divided by -7/5. Then you can utilize keep, change, flip. So 27/8, change division to multiplying, and then flip it so it's -5/7. It would be nice if you can simplify here, however you can't, so the only choice that you can do here is multiply your numerators and denominators together. So let's start with the easy one on the bottom. We know this is negative. 8 times 7 is going to give us 56, and 27 times 5 is going to give us 135. Well, how many times does 56 fit into 135 without going over? Well, it fits twice. 56 times 2 is 112, so if we do 135 minus 112, we're going to get a remainder of 23 in our numerator, and our denominator is going to stay the same at 56. Now, this would have been the toughest one in the practice session. If you got this right, then you should easily get number 5 right. So -2 and 2356 for number 4. So let's go ahead and get rid of this and then move on to hopefully the easy last one here. So we have -2 and 2356. And now for number 5, different signs, negative solution, no mixed numbers, so don't have to turn anything improper, so we can go right to keep, change, flip. So keep -4/7, division goes to times, and we flip 3/2. 2 and 4 are both divisible by 2, so 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then we can go ahead and multiply across. So we know our final answer is going to be negative. 2 times 3 is 6, and our denominator 7 times 1 is 7, and we get -6/7. And again, I've seen it way too many times now in the classroom. I can't help but think 6/7 or 67. Every time I mention it now, that's the first thing that's in my thoughts. So the kids have, I guess, rotted my brain in terms of the number 67. So hopefully you went 5 for 5 in the practice session. If you did, leave a like on the video. Comment any other topics you want to see. I hope this video helped you guys out in dividing fractions and mixed numbers. And of course, subscribe, turn on that bell for post notifications, and we'll see you in the next one with some more mathematics. Hope the video helped you guys out and you are successful.